If you got YouTube on, just turn it down a little bit, or if you can mute it.
Me?
You looking at a computer or a phone?
Wait, let me see. I don't have YouTube on.
No. Okay.
Wait, where you go?
Let me check mine. Make sure I'm muted. Yep, I'm muted too. Okay, there we go. Hey everybody, welcome in, welcome in. We are at Vernes Junk Closet with our guest. Chosen Queen will be coming in soon, and we will be talking Marriage Seminar number 2. Number 1 was amazing, so now we are doing number 2. As soon as Chosen Queen comes in, I'm going to invite her on the panel, and then we have another guest. We have Harrison Family Vlog, and if Hood Girl can make it, she said she would, but I know she was working, but she said she really wants to be here. And then I have my cousin, guys, my cousin Adrianne on the panel. Hey, Apostle, how are you? Welcome in, welcome in. You can talk your way to healthy relationships is in the building. Hello, how are you? Welcome in, family. I also see Hector. What's up, Hector? How are you? Welcome in, welcome in. Yes, say hi to Ruth. Hey, Ruth, how are you? So, Apostle, I don't know if you're married, and you can talk. I know that you're married. So if you guys are interested in being on the panel, you are more than welcome to come up. I will drop the link. We are just going to talk about marriage in general, and I'm just going to explain some things, and then we're going to get into it. So thank you guys for being here. Let's get it. Let's go. Hey, Ro. Ro in the city is in the building. Hi, I am Content is in the building. Hello, welcome in. So first, I'm going to drop the link in the chat, and then I'm going to introduce my cousin, and I'm going to have her talk a little bit about herself and her business, and then we'll get into this. But guys, today is a good day to have a great day. Let's make today beautiful. Remember, no one is perfect. We all have flaws that we can always try to better ourselves in some way, whether it's just being more nicer to someone or whatever the case is. And you know my motto, love and light to everyone. Again, we're going to be talking marriage. So to me, when you're starting out, before you even get married, you have to date. So to me, data is getting to know information about someone to see if you guys are going to be connected, to see if you can have a long-term relationship. Some people get married, as we know, the non-traditional way, meaning some people meet, they get married in a month, they get married in a week. I've seen some people get married the same day. But we're talking about what it takes to get to the marriage, and then once you're in the marriage, what you expect or what should you want out of your marriage for yourself. Thank you, Apostle, for sharing this out. I just saw it come across the phone. Thank you so much. So to me, first you meet someone, you date. You see if you like them. Once you like them, you date. Once you date, if you guys are in that kind of a relationship, you would get engaged. So to me, an engagement should be, just for my own, after a year. That way you kind of get to know them. And then after that year, once you get engaged, I don't think your engagement should be 10 years, 12 years. I mean, come on. If you don't know after 1 or 2 years that you want to actually say I do, then maybe that's not the relationship for you. However, I have been married twice. My first marriage ended in my husband passing away, so I was a widow. So now this is my second marriage, and we have been married 20 years. Just past April, we have been together 28. Now, that was my fault because I was scared to get married because I was a widow. But then I was like, okay, he's not leaving. I think I need to just go ahead and accept this third. Would you marry me, huh? Because he was like, no, you know, but we are still here. He just came on screen just a minute ago. He doesn't come on YouTube. But guys, I want our cousin to introduce herself. Her name is Adrianne. She's going to tell us a little bit about her. Tell us about your business, and then we're going to get into marriage and your idea of marriage.
Sure. My name is Adrianne. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. I am a massage therapist. That's like my side hustle. Other than that, I'm married. I have 3 kids, 1 husband. And that's about it.
I hope you only got one girl. Unless you got a boyfriend on the side. What's going on? So tell us about your business, if it's still up and going. If not, we can just go on into the.
With COVID, it has slowed down tremendously, and I just don't feel safe with other strangers and going into such a closed space, and by it being, warm, and then I have asthma, so I can't do it. But it has slowed down a lot, so I probably do about one a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
So tell us about how you met your husband, or what attracted to you to him when you met him, and then like your dating process. Let us know. Again, guys, I dropped the link. If you'd like to come up and talk, you're more than welcome to.
Okay, so I absolutely believe that if someone is for you, it's for you. If something is for you, it's for you. I met my husband when I was 15. I am 43 right now. We have been together a long time. I met him in our neighborhood. I was with a friend, and I was actually dating his friend. And that didn't work out. And I didn't know he lived around the corner from me. And and I went to the corner store. It was like a grocery store. And I used to walk to the store. And this particular day, I was in the store with my mother. And I was just walking around, and I saw him like checking some things, like, stocking some things at the grocery store. And when I saw him, I thought he was the most beautifulest thing in the world. And from there we would go and, we talked, we exchanged numbers, and we would talk here and there. And I actually tried to fix him up with some friends, because I was actually I was with his friend, but I wasn't with his friend. I know his friend was probably seeing some other people. And so we would talk, and I tried to hook him up with other people, like my friends, and he didn't want to do that. So eventually we got together, and it's been from there, not happily ever after, but marriages have their ups and downs. But we've been doing it, so that's that.
So when you met him and you guys started dating, how long did it take you guys to get engaged?
Oh, wow. It took a long, because we were young. So he's 3 years older than me. So like I said, I was 15, and like I said, we dated. I had my daughter with him when I was 17. So it took some years after that. We've been married. I don't know how to subtract that. So we've been married for 15 years. My oldest daughter is 25 now. So it took us a long time, because, at that time when you're young, you don't know what you want. And he didn't know what we loved each other, but it was so many other people out there that we hadn't dated. So we had to get that out of our system too.
So when you had your daughter, did you know that you wanted to marry him, or you wanted to be with him forever? Or
I did, and I did, and like I said, he was to me the total package. Growing up in LA, it's nothing but it's games in LA. That's it. And that wasn't him. He worked, and
that's awesome.
He was just a responsible person, and I knew that's what I wanted. For some reason, he liked me too, like that. So we knew. I think as soon as we started talking, we were talking about getting married and going into the military. But that's young love, when you're young and in love. Of course, marriage is on your mind. But like I said, we had to get it out of our system. We did what we had to do. We got it out of our system, and we came back together.
So how was when you got ready to get married, did you guys sit and talk about it together, or did he get on one knee and ask you Tell us that. How that happened.
No, I think we have been together so long. It was just like, okay, yeah, we're gonna get married because we just been together. So we actually didn't get married until I was pregnant with my son. I think I was probably about 3 months, and I was like, okay, this is ridiculous. Like, we've been living together. We have a house. We bought our first house when we were 19 in 22. So I was like, we might as well. I mean, it wasn't like that, but it was like, we are together. We don't want to be with anyone else. So let's just do it. And I was like, I'm not going to have this baby and, bring, my love child into the world. Like,
right.
We already have two. So yeah, we just went and we eloped and we got married.
Okay. Okay.
15 years.
Okay. So was there expectation that you had in your mind? Like, was it the old fashioned, I'm gonna be the wife, I'm gonna stay at home and he's gonna work, or we're both gonna work? What was your expectation in your head of being married?
Well, for me, it was, I think in his mind, he was like, okay, I don't want you to work. If you want to, you can. And just go to school. Do what you have to do, go to school. But what happened with that was I went to school, and like I said, we were young. And I went to like 2 different schools. One of my schools shut down as I was going to school.
Mine too. I know.
Yeah. So it was like, okay, I have this kid. He worked, and I think I wanted a career, but it just didn't happen the way that I wanted to. Like, because I was so into computers. But then as I got older, I changed my mind, and that's how I became a massage therapist. I know the computer like the back of my hand. Like, everybody in this house asks me what I'm like. If anybody needs help, they ask me about the computer. But for the most part, I was just supportive of him and his career. So we put our all into his career, into his trucking business.
Okay. I'm just gonna talk to the chat for a minute. Thank you guys for coming in. Let's see, Bill of Rank, thank you for being here. How are you? Dominant Man, I see you. So do you think that your husband is your best friend? And do you think that he could have females as friends?
He's absolutely my best friend. Me knowing the kind of person that he is, he can have women friends, but they have to be respectful. Mm-hmm. They have to be respectful. He's just him. Like, say if I had a guy friend, and I've seen this, say if I had a guy or a husband that he was very flirty, or he's the guy that everybody likes. Mm-hmm. Nah, because the guys sometimes from what I've seen in my experience, the guy that everybody likes, especially the woman, he's not faithful. Mm-hmm. I've seen it. But thank goodness that my husband is so laid back and so to himself. So I never really had to worry about that.
Okay. Apostle said, no female friends, don't do it. I agree, Apostle. No, if I'm your friend, I'm gonna do the DMX thing. Take off this wig, put on another one. Who you want to be today? You want to be Sheila today? You want me to be Kim tomorrow? You want to be Michelle? Who you want me to be? I'm gonna be that every woman for you. Right. How do you feel about people saying, "Oh, my work wife and work husband"? I kind of am on the fence. I actually don't like that, because it can lead to other things, in my opinion. Not that saying it would. But I think, I don't know, I just don't agree with that. Because, you may be thinking it's funny, ha ha, he, but they could be taking it you don't know what the other person is thinking.
Absolutely. I had a situation like that when I was working, and it was this guy that liked me a lot. And he used to bring me food from the cafeteria, and everybody used to say, oh, look, that's your work husband. I used to say, nah, I don't play that. He had a different idea in his head, and I had to check him on it, because one day he got too close. So no, that work wife and work husband, that's cause for disaster.
Yeah, I agree. Apostle said, nope, 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 only one. Apostle, I know. What do you think about, okay, say you and your husband was together for 5 years and you really wanted to get married, but he never hinted around. Do you think the woman should ask a man to be married? See, I'm also, you should know if he wants to be there or not.
Yeah, because a man knows when he wants to be married. He knows, and if he haven't asked after 5 years, you're wasting time. And it's so crazy because I know some women, they really, really want to be with that person, and then they don't want to start over again and go into another relationship and trying to see if this one's going to work. And I've seen so many women where, I mean, they know it's not going, they know it's not going to work, and they just end up getting hurt. But yeah, that's a waste of time.
Yeah, yeah. What do you think about the women that always say, "Oh, I gotta have a man. No, half a man is better than no man." And see, with that, I am like, you were somebody before you met him. You were okay. You will be okay after, because some women, and men take relationships where one person is cheating. And I understand people want to make their marriage work and they want to work it out, but I'm kind of like, I'm enough for you. If you going out there to someone else, then this ain't gonna work. But I can see people giving somebody one chance and it's working out. But when they start doing it 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I think you as a person, not only as a woman, as a person, should think that you are worth more than that. So what are your ideas on, if not saying you, but I'm saying in general, because we know people that have been there. The man is cheating, and one time, okay, but several times. What do you think they should work it out after once or give it up?
No, a habitual cheater is a habitual cheater. He's gonna continue to cheat. So that's another instance of you wasting my time. My husband could be out here somewhere and I'm sticking with you. Cheating, not only could you bring back something to me, you could possibly bring another child into this.
We're going to get into that.
Yeah.
We're going to get into that. Yes.
That's not cool.
Just let me look at the chat. Heaven sent, I saw you. Ruth says, I agree. Catherine says, after 5 years and the man not saying anything, it should be discussed. Yes, I agree. Apostles laughing, saying half a man. Yes, Apostle. It is an old-fashioned saying, and when I say that, I mean people back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, because at that time, now think, it's a different era. The women, quote unquote, needed a man because, we were just starting to vote, we're starting to get our women liberation. But now, if you're dealing with that and you are thinking that, sister, you're worth more. You don't need a man. You're supposed to, and a man is supposed to have the woman as a helpmeet, not to make her life worse or miserable. She could do better without you if you're going to keep cheating on her. And not only bringing in another child, an outside baby, and we're going to get into that because I've seen this question on Facebook. I wanted to talk about it. Not only cheating, but STDs and all that. So the question was, if your husband or man had an outside baby, would you take care of the baby? I'm trying to think of the exact word the girl called it. She said, no, not no cheating baby. I'm gonna think of the name of it, but she called it where she was like, no kid or not, I'm not taking that kid. I was like, right? Ruth says, move on and quit wasting time. Exactly. Know your worth. You treat us the way we allow to. Yes, Ruth, you're married. Come on up on the panel, girl. Yes. Queen Diva Lifestyle is in the building. Hello, ladies and everyone. How are you? We're doing amazing. Thank you for being here. Social pressures. What, Apostle? Social pressure. When a man brings in my opinion, when a man brings in an outside child, most people think the wife should accept it. However, if the wife was to get pregnant and bring in an outside child, the man would leave. The man,
Yes, he would.
this is a one-sided story where somebody I thought it was, chosen queen. I'm waiting for her. Yes, Ruth says it should be discussed after 1 year. What are we doing and where are we going with it? I agree. I totally agree. Because the old-fashioned buy the cow where you can get milk for free.
Yeah.
I truly believe that. And some people here is it. There was a man and a woman. This is a true story. A man and a woman was dating. I think they were dating for like 2 years. Never had sex. Just amazing. Good for you. They got married, and now they're still saying they're not having sex. What do you think about that? I think if you're in a union, this is the time when you're supposed to have sex,
Right?
And bring in children. But yeah, they're not having sex. So they're saying that if it was okay before they got married, that it's okay after. Some people said that it's asexual, and I'm not sure what asexual means, but what is your idea?
I know sometimes we don't feel like it, but all the time that they're just not having
They never consummated the marriage at all.
What? Is something wrong with someone?
Damn. Now, I don't know.
That's not healthy at all.
Right.
It's not healthy.
Marriage, right? But if he had it during the marriage, yes, I understand. I'm gonna see if I can find out what they called it, because it was a name that the girl said, and I was laughing so hard. I said, I've never heard of it called that. She didn't call it outside kid. She called it. She said, no, not cheating kid. She said, oh, it was a funny name. I can't remember it, but we're gonna get into that. So, do you think that a man would stay if the wife had a child? Now they're not separated; they're still together, and she got pregnant. But it was another man's baby. Do you think the husband would stay?
No, men are totally different when it
I don't
comes
think
to us. No, he wouldn't say, because they can't handle that kind of hurts.
Right. Exactly. We have Ruth on the Hey Ruth, hi. You on the panel. This is my cousin Adrianne.
Hi, how are you?
Marriage Seminar Ep2. One went so well. I'm waiting for Harrison and Hood Girl to come. They said that they would be a little bit late, but so what were you thinking in the chat?
Well, in the midst of trying to settle down my 3-year-olds, y'all, I mean, everything you were saying was right on. I mean, I completely agree that we need to quit wasting time. We need to know our value. We need to know our worth. We need to, let people know how we want to be treated. And we need to know our own wants and desires, like, what we wish for ourselves, and not let others dictate what we are supposed to have and what we want. So we have to make it known. If you know you are in a relationship and you don't want to waste time being in a relationship for more than a year, and after a year that person's not ready to get married, then you have to be grown enough and put your big girl panties on and move on.
Yeah,
and be willing to let it go when it's not right.
Right. Yeah. Did you hear the question I asked, Ruth? So there was a couple. They were married for 2 years. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you fine.
Okay. They were married for 2 years. I'm sorry. They were dating for 2 years. Never had sex. Got married, and they still are not sexual in their marriage because they think if it was okay before marriage, it should be okay during marriage. They have not consummated the marriage.
Oh, wow. So what's the question?
What do you think of that? Like, what the heck? I mean, when you get married, that's the time for you to be intimate with your husband, consummate the marriage. I think that's what it's saying in the Bible. And
yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the most beautiful benefits of marriage, is that time of consummation and, being free and comfortable with your spouse and, being able to, be yourself and offer your full self to the person who you love and the person that loves you back. So why you would avoid that is, I'd have to try to understand more of why they felt,
That's what I said. Like, what is something wrong? Is something going on with someone's health or body?
What other reason is there to be married?
I'm trying to pull it up because I made sure I saved it because I was like, are you kidding me?
That's the best thing in the world, especially that shows just that feeling of, showing someone that you physically love them.
Oh, yes. Being able to offer someone your full self is the most beautiful thing that God created, in marriage.
So, Ruth, tell us how long you've been married and a little bit about you.
Well, I am in my second marriage, actually. My husband and I have been married 5 years. My first marriage was, I was married for 9 years, and I waited to get married the first time and even longer the second time.
Okay.
I was a person, I was happy being independent and, having a good time, enjoying life. And so I didn't get married my first time till I was 28. I didn't want to get married like right away. I was enjoying life and traveling and just doing all the things that I love and enjoy doing. But I knew I had pressure, from family and that you need to be settling down and all that stuff. So I did. The marriage ended up not working out. And so I had the opportunity to get out. And so I did because I knew it was the healthiest thing for me. And the gentleman who I'm married to now is actually my very best friend. We've known each other since we were 19. We dated when we were very, very young for 5 years. And then we separated because neither one of us were really ready to get married at the time. And so he moved on and I moved on. And then after we got divorced, we ended up hooking back up and getting back together, getting married. We got married after a year, and we've been together ever since. And truthfully, he probably was the one, that I should have married the first time. But, we both had other thoughts that, we wanted to be doing other things. And so we did those things, but still ended up back with each other. So I think what God has for us is for us.
That's what I said. And sometimes you have to go through the bad to get to the good.
Yeah. And like I said, I think people are either called to marriage or you aren't. And people think that marriage is what they want and they think that it's the thing for them, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's not. So because marriage is sacrifice. Marriage is sacrifice. Marriage is it's not self-serving. And you have to be prepared to give as much as you receive.
Absolutely.
So, and a lot of people don't understand the work that goes behind staying married.
Yes.
Not getting married. If you thought the wedding was something, try to stay married.
It's easier to get a divorce than it is to stay in the marriage.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And some people don't want to put in the work.
Yes.
Marriage is kind of like a job. You have to be there when that person gets on your last nerve. As I say, you want to hit them with a sock puppet, but you still got to be.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Absolutely.
Right. Just want to bop them. Not hurt them. I just want to bop them. Just enough.
Just knock them down.
Make me feel better.
But I still love you, but you're getting on my nerves. Yes.
Yes, right? Do you consider your husband your best friend, or is it okay for him to have female friends?
I do consider my husband my best friend, and I do have a very hard time if there are female friends. When we first met each other, and it goes both ways. My husband and I are both very people oriented. So, people are very drawn to us and we enjoy meeting people and talking with people. And people tend to just, want to befriend us all the time, which we love and enjoy, but we've had to, set some rules of engagement around what friends looks like for us, So they have to know who we are. They have to know our spouses. We don't hang out privately, different things such as that. It's very open, and nothing is done in private. So I don't like to say that, you can't have a male friend or a female friend or whatever. We do have friends. It's just sort of a part of life. But they need to know my spouse. They need to know who I am, that I exist, that I'm very well present. I need to be able to, wife, everything still has to be priority number one. But but yeah, we don't, our friends have definitely take a back seat to to our marriage for sure.
We got Harrison Family Vlogs up on the panel. What's up, Harrison? How are you today?
Good. When did it start? So I sent the message asking about the link, and you didn't respond. So I was like, oh man.
Oh, I'm sorry, Harrison. I didn't even look. I'm sorry. I apologize. This is Harrison Family Vlogs. He also have a YouTube channel. Do you know You Can Talk, Ruth?
Hi. I've seen you before.
Okay. Well, You Can Talk Your Way in a Healthy Relationship.
Yeah, that's
and then
right,
this is my cousin, my real cousin on the channel. Some of you guys may know, some of you may not know, I was adopted at birth, and my adopted family is not telling me anything. So I did a DNA through the ancestry, and this is how we connected. And
awesome.
I love my real cousin Harrison, a real
All right. That's dope.
You came in just on time.
I like what she was saying.
We are talking about marriage, of course, and do you consider, or because you're not married now, but you were married, right?
Yeah, I was.
About is your wife or your spouse your best friend, and how do you feel about them having like a work wife, work husband, or a best friend that's opposite? Listen. Go ahead, Harrison. Take it away.
There is none of that work wife, work husband thing. Because there's a reason why. Like I know it could be like all fun and games and stuff, but you put a title to anything, people start feeling like they should be doing certain things to fulfill that title, right? And when you're in a position of like work and you're working around each other for 8 hours a day, all right, that title of work husband and work wives could start looking like, oh, this could actually be a real thing. And then you guys start hiding conversations and start developing feelings and meeting at the water cooler more often than you should.
Or outside of the water cooler.
Or even outside.
Because I think those relationships, because you work so close together, it really can change like that. Because they could just be, can you give me a ride home? You want to come in, then it turns into a drink, and then the next thing you know, there's a child.
Yep. That's not your husband. Yeah, it's dangerous. I say this all the time. That's why I could never. I choose not to. I could never. I choose not to date like somebody who's a police officer or a EMT or a firefighter or corrections, or if they have close proximity with somebody for a long period of time in a workplace, things can happen. And I say this all the time. The person could be physically, they don't have to be physically attractive for feelings to arise, and there's countless stories of partners in the police department who are in the squad car, for years together, and they're partners, and they're doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing. Relationships get blurred, and when you're that close to somebody of the opposite sex, it's easy to get those relationships blurred, especially if you're putting a title on it like work wife or work husband. Let a man call me up and say, hey, so I work with your wife. You know what? It's a funny thing. It's a funny thing. We call each other work husband and work wives at work. But I know you're a real husband, but like I'm a work husband. Like, don't do that because it'll be a problem. Like a huge problem. Yeah.
Now we know how we as women, the three women, because you're outnumbered today, Harrison, would feel if our husband came home with a child being married, how we would feel. Some women would stay in the marriage because they say it's one time, okay. But if he's cheating continually, how would you feel if your wife, you're married, nothing's wrong, you're still in the same household, and she tells you she's pregnant, but it's another man's child, would you stay? Honestly, would you stay? Or you don't have to answer it. You can plead the fifth. But would you stay?
Now it's such a hard question. So, I don't look at the baby, right, as the problem. The baby is the result of the actual problem. So I would have to ask myself, right, am I taking what she did out on this baby that's coming? Because the baby didn't ask to be here, right? What she did was have sex outside the marriage. That's the problem. Okay. And I have to, and now I would have to reason this if I'm in it, because I'm not in it, so it's easy for me to say this, right? But if I'm willing to forgive her for having an affair, I hope that I can forgive her for having an affair and maybe a baby resulted in it. The hard part would be having to be married to this woman, raise a child that's not my own, with possibly the man who she had an affair with to have the child. That would be the hard thing. Now that's the question. Where, am I willing to deal with that? Then am I willing to deal with the fact that she cheated on me? You understand what I'm saying? So the harder question is, will I be able to? Because I can cheat. I can forgive my wife if she had an affair, and I think in most cases I would. And then we'll go to counseling and we'll set up some protection, some borders, some boundaries, all that stuff, so that it doesn't happen again.
Okay. But that's one. What about she's done it like 7, 8 times? I mean, I know women that are in. I refuse to tell, I'm just saying, my friend that her husband is cheating, because to me, you already know, because you should know that you guys are not connected in that way. And if he's doing this 7, 8, 9 times, I'm not going to come and tell you, hey, he's cheating, because now you're going to be mad at me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you're still there. You're staying. So this is what I say about women and men. You're worth more. You don't allow, like we'll say, you don't allow people to treat you like that. Yeah. You were good before that person came. You'll be good when that person's not there. I know it's going to be hard. Your heart's going to be broke, but you're going to cry and you're going to get over it. Yeah. But I don't know if you guys have ever been in a situation like that, even family, where people were, cheating continually, but the person still stayed. Like, did you say something or did you let it go? That Hood Girl is here. Welcome in, Hood Girl. How you doing, babe? I want to introduce that Hood Girl on the panel. We have Harrison family. I know you know him. Do you know Ruth? You can talk your way into healthier relationships?
I have heard of her. And then hello, real cousin.
That's my real cousin. Yes, girl. That's my cousin. Hi. So we're talking marriage. Hood Girl, hold on. I want Harrison to finish that thought, and then I'm going to come to you.
So as far as the cheating and what I tell, I would definitely tell the person who's cheating, right, that you have a week to tell this person that you're cheating, after which I will let them know what's happening. If they get upset with me over it, that's something that that I'll have to deal with. But what's right is right, and if they don't want to talk to me because they feel humiliated, that's on them. But that's
I'm going to have Hood Girl introduce herself and tell us, if you're married, if you're not married, and your situation, and then I have another question.
All right, my name is Juanita Hood. I go by that Hood Girl to the Hood. I use my name real good with what I'm doing. I am a content creator, and I love me some Vernes, I'm single. I was divorced. My husband died. I was in love with another man that we never got married. He did break my heart. Oh, Lord, to the core. So here I am 4 years later, preparing myself to date again.
So with the situation that we're in, COVID, so put that on the side. Say if you were to meet someone you dated for a year, how long do you think you should be engaged for before you actually get married? Do you think it should be a long engagement, a short engagement?
Short. Because let me tell y'all, I was looking at a show the other day, right? And the host was talking to a guy that was on her show, and she said, are you married? He says, no, I've been dating my girlfriend for 13 years. I'm like, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. And let me tell you why I say that. Excuse me, Allison, but look here, let me tell y'all something. When a man and a woman meet, you know, it's going to always be an attraction. It's going to be some chemistry. Okay, now I do say date at least a year because that's when you're learning each other. You want to know if you really do like each other, you know, because sometimes some people just want companionship. We want to do the nasty, no other stuff, and then some people want a husband and some people want a wife. I think in that year's time, you got to understand what it is that person wants. Because I believe if you're looking for a wifey or if you're looking for a hubby, you know within that year if they're going to be good for you as that position. And if you look that, then that's your fault. Yeah.
I believe that too.
Yeah.
I believe that too. So do you guys, I'm going to start with my cousin Adrianne. Do you believe in married people taking separate vacations?
Yeah, I mean, I do.
Too.
It's just because my husband, he really doesn't like to go. So if he doesn't want to go where I want to go, I'm going. I'm not going to sit at home, you know, while because and us both be miserable because he doesn't want to go. That's my life, and it's so crazy that a lot of people that are married. They would always say to him, "You let your wife go over here. You let your wife go." I don't like those kind of marriages where I have to be lock and key, you know, and connected to you and be miserable. I just won't be married.
How do you feel about that, Ruth?
Can you hear me? I had to turn my mic back on. My husband and I both feel that we have to be individuals, and circumstances and other people are not what causes a person to cheat. It's our own individual selves. Therefore, no matter who he's with or what he's doing or where he is, if he's going to want to cheat, he's going to do that of his own merit, not because somebody else made him do that. So we don't have those types of boundaries where you can't do this or you can't do that. We definitely keep an open dialogue, a lot of open communication. He does go places without me. I have gone places without him. It's not usually been for more than a weekend. He's a huge football fan. And so have been times where he has wanted to, you know, go to games that I did not want to go to, where he was going to get to, you know, spend the whole weekend indulging in, you know, what he loves to do and watch. And so he's done that, and he will call me. He'll call me while he's there. He'll FaceTime me. He'll call me when he gets back to his hotel. I mean, it's open communication. So I've never had any type of worry. And I've gone to places where I've been out, you know, gone on weekend getaways with my girlfriends and things such as that. And I'll call him and it's the same thing, you know? So you do have to get there as a couple, you know, sometimes that's not something that just happens right away where you're just able to trust right off the bat. We did have to get there. But we set up, you know, we said, well, what do I need? You know, what is it that you need to feel comfortable in order for me to be able to do this? You know, and we honor those things with each other. And it works out for us. It may not be the best thing for everyone, but it works out for us. But we also love going on vacation together. So, you know, that's something that because we are each other's best friends. And so that's our preference. But if there are things outside of that each of us wants to do as individuals, we definitely allot room for that because it keeps us full and healthy as individuals. So we bring more to the table as individuals with each other when it comes to the marriage.
Right. And it could be like a time schedule. Maybe they couldn't get the time off work or a family situation and you both wanted to go. Do you think it's okay, Hood Girl? And then I'm going to go to Harrison.
Well, you first have to, she just said, you first have to establish trust.
Right.
Because if there has been any distrust, the first time somebody want to go on the other side of that door without their partner, that in the back of your mind is going to always wonder what he doing, where he going, or what she doing, where she going. For me, I don't ever have to want to wonder when my man leaves and go on the other side of that door. If I have to wonder where he's going and who he's doing it to and what he's doing, I don't need to be with him. So yes, I believe that there should be some. I mean, I would hope that my man fish and hunt because we'll never starve. So you can go on your fishing trips. You can go kill some deer, baby, because we're gonna be eating when you come back. That's okay. I don't mind as long as we can trust each other.
Harrison?
Yeah, I agree. And I think also trusting the people that they're around. Because you could trust I could trust my wife, but if she's going with her turn-up crew
Adrianne?
to Dominican Republic, I may not be okay with that. Like
Adrianne gotta stay home because Adrianne gonna get you in trouble.
And vice versa. So I wouldn't expect her to be comfortable with me going away with my single friends because they act like they're single, and then I'm in the midst of that. So I do think, and I agree with you can talk that we have to maintain our individuality, and there's going to be some things that interest us that may not interest our spouse, and that's okay. And allowing space for us to enjoy that, separate is also okay, and that could even strengthen the relationship in a sense where knowing that my wife would trust me so much will hopefully give me the encouragement not to, break that trust and not to abuse that trust if we really, really love and value our marriage and our relationship. So, she says, hey, me and a couple of my church friends want to go to, Jamaica. Oh, church friends? I'll pay for it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I knew. Yeah, look.
Here's enough to spend the money. Go ahead.
Those are the main ones you might want to watch.
You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
Okay, so I need you guys to go to an open mind. I have a serious question. This really happened. I think, Harrison, you might have been here when I asked this before. Man and woman were married. I think they were married about 10 or 12 years. The man was a business owner. He went out of town. I think he went to Vegas, and he wound up dying.
Oh.
But how he wound up dying, it was caught on camera. So the police had to tell the wife he was with two other women, and the women set him up. They robbed him, and the people that the women had set him up, and he died. Now, this is the question. Would you bury him? Like, seriously. Like, how? First of all, you're going to be going through so many emotions. First of all, the police are calling you. He's dead. Then you find out how he died. So now you're like, so what in that instance do you do? And if you don't want to answer it, it's okay. I understand. I will tell you my answer.
I think I remember hearing that story. I remember that.
I think you and I actually may have talked about
it. And I think honestly, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't bury him. I would leave that up to his family because I would be so mad and I would be so hurt. I think I would just leave that up to his family.
But most of the insurance, his life insurance, if he has it, work insurance, is in your name.
Oh, you're the wife. That would go to you anyway, but you don't have to do services. And, you could actually be mean and be like, he getting cremated and that's it. Like, you don't have to let the family come. I've seen people who, this is what I don't understand. A man is married. Okay, no, a man is dating a woman, but he's still legally married to that lady over there. So when he dies, it doesn't matter that he was married, that he was dating the girlfriend for 10 years because he's still married to that. And the wife has been known to not let the girlfriend of 10 years come to the funeral. I've seen that like a lot. But I'm saying this couple was married and he was a businessman and they found out. So Ruth, if you don't want to answer, I totally understand. But this really, really happened. It was a real situation. And I thought I'm like you, cousin. I think the wife should let the family do all that. I mean, I'll pay for whatever they want, but I'd be so upset.
I think I kind of feel the same way. Or if he had no family or the family wasn't willing to do it, I might bury him, but it might not be at the same level of what he might would have liked to have had, or what the family might would have liked to have seen.
Need to live. Yeah, but I'm like, some people are like, no, he's gonna have to bury himself. But
I've seen this very situation happen where the man was he died in somewhere where he was with the other woman. And so I've had this, I know someone personally this has happened to. And they did a full funeral for him. They did a full on, funeral and services and honoring and everything, because they had children together, number one.
And I understand that.
I think, to honor the kids and all that, they just went ahead and did that. But it's a very personal thing. That's a very personal thing as far as what you do. Now, what I would do probably would, my first thought would be to let the family bury him. And then my second thing would be just to put him in the ground.
Right.
Okay. Hug girl.
Well, we had this question last time, but if I may, I would ask the mortician to give me a moment in the mortuary, and I'm gonna kill that sucker again, but I'll bury him.
Like 5 minutes.
Let me just make sure he's dead.
Not funny, people. I'm just saying this is a really serious subject. But you have to see the humor sometimes, because you're so angry that you literally want to be evil to the corpse, but you really can't, because it's already done. Yeah, you're gonna be upset, you're gonna be mad, you're gonna be happy, you're gonna be sad. You're gonna be going through a range of emotions. Yes, Harrison.
But okay.
No. Go ahead, Hook girl. What'd you say?
But you got to live your vows, though. If you really believe what your vows say is for better or for worse, and you gotta bury him. And as you can talk, said, I'll bury him. It may not be in the casket that we once talked about. It may be a wooden box that don't rock.
Not funny, people, but yes. Harrison.
Yeah.
Vice versa.
If I have kids, then it's the funeral is all about having my kids get closure. At that point, it's not about us. It's about the kids. So I would definitely have a funeral service and all that stuff. And I'll be in the background. I'll let the family take care of it. If the insurance is in my name, I'll make sure to pay for it. But all for the sake of my children.
Okay. So we're gonna switch it up on a lighter note. When you first met your husband, the first time you met him, I already asked Adrian, what did you think of him? And did you like him at first?
I didn't think anything of him.
I'm gonna talk with Ruth first.
I didn't think anything.
No, seriously, what really attracted you to him? Was it his eyes? Was it his hair? Was it his walk?
Nothing about him attracted me. Her? Okay.
Yes, Ruth first.
Oh, you asking me first? When I first met my husband, we were 19. And I think that he was being such a gentleman that he wasn't being that typical 19-year-old kind of hot, fiery male. That I kind of questioned his manhood a little bit, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I was like,
he was a gentleman, but you weren't expecting
so much a gentleman that I wasn't even used to it. I was like, what on earth? He hasn't tried to touch me, hasn't tried to kiss me, hasn't tried to do anything. What's wrong with him? I'm not sure about
he liked you.
Yes. And so he laughs at me today because for that, but and then that was the thing that attracted me to him. Just his smile, his personality, very outgoing, jubilant, and yet very serious and very responsible, very, very responsible. For sure, he was a believer, and that was something that was important to me. But even though he was a believer, he was nowhere near on the same level I was. you know, and so that, and that was something, you know, we talked about, and, you know, we talked through and all that. So, I mean, so many things, but the main thing was that we had fun, you know, we had a lot of fun together. And that was important to me because, you know, I didn't want to be miserable. I didn't want to be two roommates living together in a house with, you know, I needed more than that. I needed a lot more than that. So yeah, we were best friends. You know, and you know what was funny is that the first time that we had broken up, that was the part that I missed the most, where I felt like I had lost my best friend. You know, so and I was like, well, I know we're not together anymore, but can we just hang out? You know, can we just hang out together? So, and that was the same stuff that brought us back. You know, the second time was all the fun that we have. Yeah. Always. I mean, when we're together by ourselves, we're like two giddy teenagers, literally. So
that's strange. That's love. You know, you gotta love them through everything. But men are strange creatures. When they're little boys, they want to pull your ponytails, and then when you become a woman, they want to open the door, and you're like, wait a minute. We as women have to like try to look at that line. So I'm gonna go to Hood Girl, then I'm gonna come to you, Harrison.
Well, my story is similar to You Can Talk. When I met my husband, it was at a barbecue, and he was the barbecuer. And he was a tall, dark guy, and he had the best smile ever. And when he wanted somebody to taste test, I was the first person he came to. He bypassed his mom and his aunt and him. So I was like, okay. So we did it, and as you can tell, it took him a long time to kiss me. And I'm thinking, I asked his mama, I say, well, do he like girls? And she had to laugh. She said, you know, that's my son. Yeah. But he, you know, he was very slow. He was a gentleman because his father was a pastor, and, you know, his mom was this great Christian woman. So he did take his everlasting time. And so, you know, Vernes, the other day when you asked us if we could do something, we come back and I said a poodle, and you say no, Ruger, and I said a tiger from a bad side because my tiger came out and I seduced him with some food and candles and stuff, and yeah, it happened, and that was it.
Oh, that's nice. So Harrison, I'm gonna go with your recent relationship.
We get along, you know, we enjoy each other's company, dialogue, able to talk, and just vibe, you know, getting to know one another. And I like that, being able to get to know who the person is. There's no pressure. There's no trying to make an impression and, you know, putting on masks. And I like that, you know, being able to see the authentic person. So I like their authenticity.
That's good. That's good. Awesome. So if you guys had a family member, it's going to be a two-part question. One, they asked for money, but to your spouse, but it's your family, but they didn't ask you, they asked your spouse. And two, if your family member was talking about your spouse, would you tell them? Anybody can take
the first part. If a family member asks my husband, if my family member asks my husband about to borrow some money, I would first of all I would call them and say, well, do you know I'm a part of this? This money, all of this. So if you couldn't come and talk to me first, then no. And I should say, well, what's the reason? But I would just feel like that was very disrespectful, because why don't you value me enough to come and ask us as a whole? Because we are one.
Right.
What was the next question again?
The next one was if they were talking about him, would you say something? But hold on one moment, Adrian. We have Nikki Nichols. She said she can only come up for a few minutes. So Nikki, you want to tell us about a little bit about yourself, and if you're married, how long you've been married, and what you liked about your husband when you met him?
Yeah, I've been married now. How long? 16 years. I think we've been married. What was and y'all know, like Ruth, my husband was a complete gentleman when we went on a date, but y'all, he had a little thug in him. So, and he's from New York. So,
I mean,
yeah, we were talking. We went out on our first date. We went to dinner, and he was talking to me, and something about, you know, his sound, the way he sounded from New York, and I'm a country girl, so it just drew me in. And then I watched how he walked. He don't know this. He's listening to me now. He don't know some of this. But I watched how he walked and just how he carried himself, and he was just like a strong man, but he was gentle at the same time. So that kind of reeled me in. I tried to be coy and shy, you know, but yeah. I think it was like a year and a half later, we had 2 kids and then got married. So
okay. So if you guys don't know Nikki Nichols, she's fairly new to YouTube, but I fell in love with her when I first started watching her page. We got my cousin, my real cousin up here. Then we have You Can Talk Your Way to Healthy Relationships. Her name is Ruth. Then we got Harrison Family Blogs and That Hood Girl to the Hood. This is my girl, my sister friend right there. So Nikki, I am so appreciative. She actually was on my panel yesterday. We talked about work from home jobs and starting a business, which was amazing. A lot of people loved it. But thank you, Nikki. I appreciate you. I know you have homework to do, but thank you for stopping up. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome anytime. But I'll keep listening while I'm doing my homework.
Okay. Get a good grade now.
Okay.
So, cousin, yeah. So, if they were talking about your spouse to you, would you tell your spouse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Vernes, she's talking to you. Don't you ever say a thing about a spouse.
Right. And let me ask you this: what kind of talk were they saying about?
Bad talk. Like, he ain't nothing. He shouldn't be with you. You're too, like, you know how family do.
We wouldn't even
break up your marriage because, you know, you're listening to you, or he listening to his mom, or vice versa. You know, you have to keep your family out of your marriage. And I'll tell you guys about a story about mine in a minute. But Harrison, if your family member asks your spouse for money,
yeah, I would probably ask what was the circumstances behind it and why they felt that they need to go to her and not to me, you know, or at least go to us both at the same time. Now, if it's one of those things where, you know, my wife is going to say yes, we got an issue because now you're taking advantage.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Because you can ask us both, you know, like, and second, like, will you think that she's just going to give you the money and not consult with me first?
Yeah.
Like if my wife's blood cousin comes to me and says, Dre, you know, I'm a little embarrassed to go to my family. I need some financial help. I'm going to let them know. All right, but I'm going to talk to your cousin. I'm going to talk to my wife about this. I'm not making a decision unless I talk to her first, you know. So I would only want to know why. And if it's because you think I'm going to say no, then I'm going to have an issue.
Probably.
Yeah, I have an issue. And what was the next question?
I was saying if they were talking about your spouse.
I would shut that down. Like, I would shut that down.
I think we should tell family, hold up, you know.
Yeah.
You're supposed to leave your family, your wife, your mom and your dad, and cling to your spouse.
Yeah.
You know, because now this is your best friend, your second half, your better half, or whatever you want to call it.
So I wouldn't tell her either, though. I'm gonna be honest with you. I would shut it down. But I won't say that. You know, my mom started talking about you. Now I'm in a situation now where I can try to repair a broken relationship. I'm not about, if I shut it down, I shut it down. I'm not going to tell my wife, my cousin Tina started talking about you and I have to shut it down. Now, when we have Thanksgiving the next time around, my wife is going to have an issue with her. There's going to be tension in the family. No, let my wife know that if anybody in my family comes at you, they're coming at us, and I'm going to shut it down. I don't have to tell you, know ahead of time that if it happens, I'm shutting it down. My whole family is going to know, don't come for my wife
Okay. Yeah, I know some people who wouldn't. So, Hood Girl, I'm going to let you answer that. But before that, we have Eat to Live Strong came up on the panel. Eat to Live, I'm going to come to you after I talk to Ruth. So, that Hood Girl, the first one was, if they ask your spouse for money, how would you feel? Or what would you say?
I'm going to piggyback off of Adrianne and Harrison. And, if it's my husband, you need to come to the both of us because it is the both of our money, first of all. And as Adrianne said, we are one. We are not divided when it comes to the monies. And anything that's leaving our bank account got to be agreed upon from the both of us. Now, when it comes to family talk, I'm like Harrison. I don't like that he say, she say, shot Johnny, kiss Paul, and screw Mary. I don't want to hear that. If I don't see it with my eyes and he haven't showed me anything of such, then I'm not going to believe that. It's just not something I do. Yeah.
Okay. You can talk. Have you been in a situation where maybe family members have asked your husband and not you? How did you feel or what did you say?
All the time, both ways, like I've had family members to ask him and he's had family members to ask me. And the first thing we do always have each other's back. We feel we talk about those tough conversations, even before they happen, so that when they happen, we have a plan. We like to be on the same page. But the first thing we say is, this is coming out of the same pool, right? I think a lot of times most people think that because you're married that your monies are separate. And for some people it is, but for us, it's not, it's one pool. So, you're not going to get something from me that my spouse is not going to know about. So if your intentions is for them to not know, then you're going about this all wrong. And we let them know that up front. So that they know if this is something you don't want them to know about, then you need not ask. Because sometimes they don't want us to know. They may not want me to know, or they may not want him to know. And it's like, okay, well then you need not ask. You need to find another resource because it's going to be known here. So yeah, we definitely have each other's back and talk about how we're going to get through that or go through those situations, get on the same page with it. So when it happens, there's no surprises. We know how to handle it. And that's that. So, and if they say, okay, then, we'll go to each other and say, hey, such and such is asking to borrow this money or whatever the situation is. And then we decide whether or not we're going to do that as a married couple. And then the second question, anytime somebody's talking about your spouse, you need to shut it down. Just period. Exactly. Shut it down. Because, and a lot of people they don't have the courage. They play nice because they want to stay good with the family and or stay good with their friends or whatever the situation is. And it's hurting your marriage. So I'm going to shut it down right away. And if I take it to my spouse, I'm not always going to take stuff like that to my spouse. I'm just not, because some of it is not. It's not even worthy of being repeated.
Imagine like family time. Like when you have family time and your husband knows that this person was started talking about it. It'll create tension that doesn't need to be there.
Yeah, everything doesn't need to be known. Everything doesn't need to be known, especially if it's something that's going to hurt his spirit or his pride or anything like that. And it's just, and especially if it's just not even true, but people's thoughts and ideologies of you and your marriage. I mean, people can be so far off sometimes. And it's not even worth repeating. Like, you don't even know this person. So,
I'm gonna let Eat to Live Strong answer that question. But one moment, Eat to Live, I'm gonna give Adrianne, the Hood Girl, you can talk, and Harrison, a question to ponder. Who said I love you first? Okay. And how did you feel when they said that? Because that is something I always think about. Then when we come back, I'll tell you about my story about the family and money and all that. But Eat to Live Strong, has your family ever asked your spouse for money without you like knowing, or rather they didn't tell you?
Yes, the younger ones have. But what they did not realize is that I hold the checkbook, I hold the everything. And he came to me and said that they asked for it. And I said, what did you tell them? And he said, I told them to come and talk to you.
Okay. Or we'll discuss it together. Oh, good. Okay. So we're on the same page. So I'm gonna start with Adrianne. Who said I love you first, and how did you feel about that?
That was so long ago, but it was me because I am such a loving person. It was, how did he feel about it, or how did I feel about it?
See, I thought you were gonna say he said it first, but now, so since you said it, how do you think he reacted when you said it to him?
He was there. He was like, "Girl, I love you." He was like, "I love you too," but I felt that he did, and that was the reason why I said it.
Do you think it takes men longer to say it?
Yeah.
Well,
I do, because, like I said, men, to me, in my opinion, and from like brothers and cousins and stuff, they don't want the rejection. So they rather just wait.
I think we feel it, but know that they're gonna do it. So, Hood Girl, who said I love you first?
you go about my husband or my lover? Both
It's
of
okay.
them.
Whatever you want to talk about. Whatever you want to talk about.
My husband said it first, and when a man, because men are slow to do things because they fear rejection more than a woman does. So when they are brave enough, I'll use brave, to say I love you, they want that woman to say it back, because if it doesn't, it's like a piercing in their spirit, in their heart. So of course, when you love each other, because there's a certain way you look at each other. It's a certain way you vibe. It's a certain way your body chemistry just does, and your body talks to each other, if I can say that. So both of you know when you know. And so when he says, "I'll girl out," I'm like, "Ooh, yes, baby, I love you too." Yeah, I'm serious, y'all. I'm always this upbeat girl. And when you're loved, it's the chemistry in your body and every organ just does something. It's happy. So I was glad he said it, because I was ready to say it. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
It made me feel good. Yeah.
You can talk. Yeah. Who said?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I love you
sorry
first.
to hear you. Yeah, I'm with you, Adrianne. I said it first. Yes,
I'm surprised.
I said it first. I was young. The first time I said it, we were 19. And yeah, he was so, such the gentleman again. And like you, that girl to the hood, he was very much a gentleman, but he was definitely, thuggish. So I was like, I was, seeing one thing, but getting something else, from his spirit. So it was kind of like, I don't understand why you dragging your feet so much, because I was feeling all those, vibes and all that stuff.
Say it already. Say it.
Yeah. Like, well, maybe, it started me to question, well, am I the one? Am I, is he really digging me? Like, I'm not really sure, So yeah, I went ahead and said it, and I was nervous, but I was also excited. And he laughed. He laughed. And said it back. And yeah, it was good. I mean, it was good. I didn't regret it at all. So yeah.
I think I was nervous when my now husband said it, because of previous. I was like, don't say that. Like, why are you saying that? Like, what? I don't know. I mean, I knew it and felt it, but I was like, I don't know. It was just like, nah, I'm good. Harrison, who said I love you first?
All right. So after this, I have to step off. Okay.
Okay.
But my present situation, there's still time for that. But when I was
really,
with my ex-wife, it was me who said it first. Yeah, I said it first. And
all right, Harrison, are you going live tonight?
No, not tonight.
Okay.
I need to get ready for school tomorrow.
Okay.
So,
okay. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I'll be hitting you up later on. Again, guys, Harrison Family Vlogs. If you guys are not connected to him, please go over there. He has some great live streams and he does some great videos. So go and check him out. Thank you, brother. I super appreciate you for being here.
Bye. Nice to meet you.
Bless everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Eat to live. Who said I love you first? You or hubby?
Okay, so it has been 36 years, and it was him. I'm going back in my memory, and I think it was him.
How did you feel?
Well, the story behind it is I'm shocked because when he actually said it, I kind of, I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. and then actually when he proposed to me, I thought he was playing because he had said it so many times before. And then when I got off work, his sister and his niece and his aunt and somebody else was in the car, and they were like, "What color is the wedding?" And I was like, "Oh my God, he was serious." So to this day, I don't even know the date he proposed to me. Yeah.
Hey. Oh well. They forget our anniversary.
To answer your question, I was happy and I was excited, but I was also young too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Hood Girl, you can answer this or not. It's up to you. What was the best or the worst memory of your wedding?
Oh, girl, let me tell you, right? No, for real. I was in the limousine, and and I had these two little girls to go before me, ringing the bell to say the bride is coming. The bride is coming. Well, I know it may sound crazy, but I told my limo driver to take me around the corner. Because at that very moment, I was like, do I really want to get married to this dude?
You got cold feet?
I did, girl. I did. And so, yeah, he took me around a couple of blocks. And so when we drove back up, it's like everybody was waiting at the gate, like, girl, where were you? And so, yeah, that was a moment for me. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
That was really a moment. Yeah.
Adrianne, or you can try, either one of you can take it, because mine is a story.
Mine, the worst part about my wedding, like, we eloped, but it wasn't what I thought it would be. We have this certain image in our mind. We went to Catalina and got married on the beach. In my mind,
sounds beautiful.
Nice.
So beautiful. It just wasn't, but it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It was the pastor. She took us on, like, she was like, "Okay, well, let's stand here." And I was like, "Well, I thought you had this all, planned out. Where we're going to stand, and we're supposed to stand at the top of the mountain, and overlooking the ocean." And that day it was so windy, so it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. But my next wedding will be perfect. That's when we renew our vows. It will be perfect.
Yes, it will. It will.
I don't have.
You can talk.
Yeah, I don't have any bad memories. Our wedding, my second marriage, it was pretty quick. We both knew that we wanted to have something very small, very intimate, only our immediate friends and family. It might have been like 25, 30 people there, if that many. So we got married outside in the hill country in a little chapel on a hill. And it was perfect. It was beautiful. And it was awesome. So we didn't have no big reception. We literally had like a cupcake champagne reception.
Okay.
And we danced and for a little while I had a good time, and flew off to Maui. So we were not.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
It was perfect. It was perfect. There wasn't all the hoopla, because my first marriage I had done that. I had done all the dress and the flowers and the 300 people and all that stuff. And it was just the second one was
it turns out to be not about you and him anymore. Now it turns out to be about the wedding. And it's not about that. Because if no one was there, if it was just you two, it's still amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it could have been nobody there, and I would have been just as happy and giddy and everything else. So yeah, it was very
Eat to live.
Let's see. Mine's is like yours, Vernes, story. The day before the wedding, the minister, somebody missed a couple's oh God, what is it called when they interview you to make sure that you're the right couple? We had classes that we had to take, and somebody missed
Premarital
that.
counseling.
It was the minister. He missed it, and then he came the day of the wedding and said he wasn't going to marry us because we didn't do the last class.
Oh my goodness.
So he did a real quick one right before the wedding, and the day of the wedding also with that, my dress was made. My friend made the dress. I took it to the cleaners that we had gone to for like years, and they said they would press out the dress. So we got there 2 hours, my cousin-in-law and I got there 2 hours before the wedding, and they hadn't even touched the dress. So we took the dress, she and I went back to the apartment, and we started ironing the dress ourselves. And I thought about it later on. I was like, oh my God, what if we had burned that satin dress?
Mm-hmm.
So the florist called the morning of the wedding and said that her nephew was murdered and she couldn't decorate the wedding, the church. So my grandmother and her sister got together and they went and decorated the church. And then at the it rained. So it was just all of that. We only had like 30 days in the wedding too. So all of that happened, and it was just, you know, if I could do it all over again, I wouldn't do the wedding thing. I would do a private ceremony and be done with it. So, but evidently,
we're not having those big elaborate weddings. I'm sorry, what did you say, Italy?
I said, I guess it was all worth it because we've been married 32 years. We've known each other for 30, whatever many years.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it was worth it.
Yeah. I'm all for not having those big, expensive 600, 700, 800,000 people and all this money. My wedding was $10,000. I had all my kids in it. The worst thing was the weather. I'm telling you. And I guess they say this is a good thing. It started out all week, was beautiful, 95, sunny, all week. And you know, when you're a bride, you look at that because you're like, oh, we're going to have it outside. We're going to have it inside, outside. So we had a gazebo. It was beautiful. Girl, that morning, it was overcast. I was already upset. The girl that did my makeup, she was late. The car broke down. We had to come back to get my mother-in-law. Then we get I had to go get my dress and it was raining, messed up my hair. Then it started drizzling, like almost like a windstorm. Then, girl, while we had a snowstorm. Yeah. All this was like within 6 hours. I'm like, are you kidding me? We get to the hotel. I'm trying to find my husband to be. Couldn't reach him by phone. Nobody knew who he's at. I said, this man don't show up. Oh, he might as well ask his mama to get ready to make funeral arrangements because I'm getting ready to hurt him. Then my hotel room was leaking. It started raining. I'm like, what is going on? So
Vernes, that might would have caused me to start to think twice.
I was panicking. I was like, okay, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. So then the best part, I come in, I see my cake. My cake was beautiful. It was more beautiful than I even seen it when I wanted it. You know, old school with the wine glasses underneath, you know, little ghetto wedding. But anyway, I'm walking down the aisle and my husband is crying. That was the best part. Because in my heart, I was like, if he don't cry, I don't know why I was even thinking that. But you know, you're nervous when you're walking down the aisle, even though you know these people.
Yeah.
And I'm walking to him. Oh, and let me tell you this. The best man had long dreadlocks. Long, beautiful dreadlocks. So I'm like, good, put the ring on your dreadlock. So when they say wear the ring, all you had to do is do that. That was my idea. I'm walking down the aisle. I'm like, who is this man standing here? He done cut all his dreadlocks off. Oh. He said, I cut him off for your wedding. Because I didn't know who he was. I'm like, who is he? Down the aisle in my head, I'm like, okay, what? And then I get up and all I see is my husband is bawling. Oh. Like, okay, it's gonna be good. Yeah, but you have good, you have to take the good with the bad, in marriages and anything you guys want to say to people that are getting married or that are married or maybe went through a divorce, because like I said, divorce is easy. Sticking it out is the hard part. because you have to love that person when they stank, when they leave his cap off the toothpaste, when they leave the toilet seat up, when they leave the tub shower dirty, towels on the floor. Don't let me get started. You guys know what I mean.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
I don't know about you, but men's feet stink.
Yes.
I don't know why. Why? You just got out the shower. Why your feet still stink? I don't understand that. I'm saying, you have to take that, the good, the bad, all that. When they get sick, they like little babies. And we had babies and still are up moving around like in 2 days. So any words that you guys want to impart on people that are in the process or married or maybe going through and not sure whether they should get divorced, anyone can start.
I think, especially today, because dating has changed a lot.
Yes.
I think that if you choose to get married, seek counseling first. Do some counseling and beforehand. I think that's important. Yeah.
I think you shouldn't get married necessarily in a month. I know some people say, I know, but I think you should, I think a year, because there are ups and downs. You have to have your first argument. You may have to up, but that's all a part of it, because that's when this is the person for me. I cannot be without this person. Like, I would literally feel miserable. So you're right. Counseling in some cases, but today these people, I don't know.
If God should open up a door for me, a second husband, right now in my life, I'm happy. If he says no, I'm okay with that. But should he give me grace? Yeah, for another husband, we have to be on the same accord with Christ first and foremost. Because I got to know when I'm weak, you're going to be there to pray for me, and the same vice versa, I'll pray for you. We have to be able to lift each other up. I have to know that you have a relationship with soap and water. I have to know that, what was the marriage between your mother and your father, and in your childhood, what did you learn from your mother and father? And how many times have you been married? And if you have any children, how many? And how many baby mamas? It's just a year. I say a year and a half, because you can be out eating and you may not like the way he chew. It may get on your everlasting nerve. Can you live with it? It's just
Preach.
Yeah, he might not. You got to have some kind of commonality as well.
Right.
You don't have to be on the same page with everything, because you got to have some kind of conflict even to make it a balanced relationship. Mm-hmm. And you cannot want somebody to be just like you, because I've always taught people, if you're looking for the same characteristics, if you look yourself in the mirror, you can date yourself. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You got to be different in ways, and you got to learn. You have to take your time and learn each other, and that's the most important thing today that I'm learning. The dating life, it's a mess. It really is.
Mm-hmm. And if they saw love growing up, because you notice, and women, some women, not me, but some women don't have a dad, and they really take that into their relationships, or men that don't have a dad or don't have a mom. They look at the spouse in that way. So if they don't see love growing up, they may not necessarily know how to love you. I'm not saying always, but that may be an issue for some men that can't commit. Why they're not staying with the one person, because maybe they didn't see that growing up. Or maybe they did see it, and they're, like you said, your husband's such a gentleman. Maybe he saw that, and that's how he wants to be with his. What I heard, that men pick women that are like their moms, not look like their moms, but have that personality of their mom, because we're the first women that they love. Just like daddies. Daddies are the first men that we love. So we kind of want our spouse to be similar, not exact, but similar characteristics of that. So whoever would like to go next?
That's true.
Would you give advice?
That was fact, because my a lot of people say I act as like my mother-in-law, and then he reminds me a lot of my grandfather, which is who I looked up to as my hero. But in a marriage, speaking of the the 30 years plus for me, I think that, yes, the first thing you need to do is learn the relationship that they had with their family first. Because if you are in a situation where the parents did not get along, they always fought, or the dad was very negative or very abusive to the mother, you're looking at what they've got. You've got a taste of what the medicine is. Now, sometimes people do change and they see it in a bad way. So it's all a give and take. But I also think that the counseling is really a good thing. But the biggest thing is keep people out of your business.
Yes.
Don't go talk to your business that goes on in your bedroom, in your house, not even to your mother or your father or you gotta
your girlfriend.
Your girlfriends, especially not them.
That's how
Do not tell your girlfriend all your business.
Exactly. Because sometimes they'll turn around because that devil is busy, honey. They'll use it against you. So I think that you should definitely stay comfortable with each other, but talk it out. Don't go to bed angry if you can avoid it. Just always talk it out, hash it out. Don't go to bed laughing. And I'm one that'll live to it. He's not. He's like, I'm going to bed. I'll see you later. I'll talk to you tomorrow. No. You ain't gonna get no sleep tonight, bro. We gotta fix this. You gotta get any sleep. We gotta talk about this. So
what are you laughing at?
I hear that all the time. People say, don't go to bed angry. Don't go to bed angry. I can tell you, I went to bed a million nights angry.
Me too. I'm like, don't talk to me. You're going to feel how mad I am.
They see the steam coming off.
Yeah, and mainly because I knew that I wasn't in a space to be able to talk and communicate. That if I did force myself to talk, I almost don't like that sometimes. When people say don't go to bed mad, because you're forcing yourself to communicate when it may not be a good time to communicate. And a lot of times when I sleep on a situation, when I sleep on something, I wake up with a whole different perspective. Yes. And so, but I'm just speaking for myself.
I was going to say that's cool. And that makes sense. But I know this one. He is not going to, he's stubborn. He's going to wake up tomorrow the same way he is today. So we might hash it out.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
You gotta know yourself and you gotta know your spouse.
Yeah.
So
Adrianne? That was it for me.
What was the question again? I'm sorry.
Now you made me forget, girl. I forgot now.
I can go if y'all want. I have just a few sort of all my go-to things that I tell every married person, really. The first one is don't ignore the red flags. If you think about getting married and all that, I made that mistake in my first marriage. I ignored a ton of red flags and ended up, having to suffer the outcome of it. So when people, that whole thing, when people show you who they are, believe them. It is the truth. It's just the truth. And the second thing that I typically always say, if there is something that you don't like about the person, if that thing never changes, will you be able to live with it for the rest of your life? Okay. That's a huge thing, because so many times we enter into relationships and into marriages thinking that you can change it, that you're gonna change it, and when it doesn't happen, it just brings up frustration and anger and all that stuff. So the thing that you don't like about the person, if that never changes, can you live with it? And that lets you know. And if it's something you can't live with it, talk about it. If it's something they're not willing to change, be willing to move on. Be willing to move on. We spend so much time thinking that we'll never meet the right one, or time starts to slip away from us and we get nervous and we just make quick decisions, and they're not the right decisions, and you're gonna have to live with it for the rest of your life, or suffer through a divorce, And that's what we want to do when we can just pay attention, know our worth, know our value, be willing to take a stand for what we know that we want, what we know that we need, what we know that we're worth, and wait for the right thing, wait for the right one, you know? Mm-hmm. Another thing I always say, you want to make sure you have the same core values. You know, if they're not a believer and you're a believer, number one, that's going to be a problem. If they're a family person and you're not a family person, it's going to be a problem. If they want kids and you don't want kids, it's going to be a problem.
And religion. If they're not the same religion. You know, if you, as we know with Tamar and her husband, different religions.
Yeah. While you're right, you know, when people write that list of, you know, all the goods and all the bads, write down the list of who you are. And if what that person is doesn't line up with who you are, if it doesn't align, then be strong enough to say, you know what, you might not be the one for me. And I'm not going to waste my time, and I'm not going to waste your time. And I'm going to move on. And
I have one more question, but Adrianne, it was, what would you tell someone that was getting married or engaged or in a long time marriage, or maybe not as long as you, and maybe they're thinking about getting a divorce? Like, what would you tell them about being married, good or bad?
I had this discussion with a friend, and her thing was, why can't I get married? Why can't I have a husband? Or she'll say, I don't see how people could be married that long, because you have to be the same person forever. And I say, marriage is work. It's work. I might not like Bobby every day, but I love him every day.
Right.
He gets on my nerves sometimes. Get on his nerves. So
sock puppet. Yeah.
Me and Bobby just we get along, and I would say to my friends, outweigh the good with the bad. If you have so much bad, then no. And me and Bobby, I'm going back to where you can talk. Me and Bobby, we just get along. You know, we have different beliefs. Like I said, I can go to California for a month. And he's like, okay, because all my family is here. If I stay here too long with him and have to look at his face every day, I'm going crazy. So he's like, okay, go. So you can come back and you can miss me, and we can be refreshed, and we can get on. So the main thing is work and outweigh the bad with the good.
Mm-hmm. Not only do you love your spouse, but you have to like them. That if you don't like them, that's something totally different. And you have to pick your battles. Everything doesn't cause for an argument. Sometimes we as women, and I'm speaking for me too, sometimes we have to bite our tongue and swallow our pride when you know you're wrong, but okay.
Right.
No problem. Yeah. Okay. You got it. You got this. Just go. Okay. Yeah. But what, or do you think the number of birth, the order of birth matters with your spouse? Like, my husband is an only child, but I'm the baby. So we kind of have almost the same thinking. So do you think that matters? Order of birth?
I don't know.
Yeah. I think order of birth makes a difference in the person's personality. And I also think whether or not you were an only child or not makes a big difference in the character and the personality and how they think about things. Yeah. Because I can tell you for sure, I mean, I have an older brother, but we were 10 years apart. So we really didn't grow up in the same house together.
Right.
But what I find is that people who I've lived with that have had brothers or sisters, they're very territorial of their things. You know, like they're like that. That's what I found with some the people who I've, you know, with roommates that I've had and spouses that I've had. They tend to be a little more territorial with their things. So
I think I'm like that too. I am very territorial with my things, but Bobby is so he's the only child. But he's so, you know how you have some people that are only child that are selfish. He's not like that at all. I don't know where he comes from, actually. Like, he's so unselfish. Like, he's the sweetest person. The only thing that I do have an issue with is sometimes he's so secluded, like he won't talk, so quiet. So I have to like pull it out of him sometimes. But my mom, I think I was like, you can talk. Me and my brother are 11 years apart. So I'm very vocal because of my mom. I'm very vocal. I'm so much like my mom. I'm so vocal. And by him being the only child, he's not used to that.
Yeah. Okay. What are you going to say, her girl?
Oh, no, I was just nodding with everybody. I'm enjoying what everybody's saying. I don't know, because, you know, it was 5 of us. And when I married my husband, he was the oldest of 3. So he was up there with me. So it was good.
Mm-hmm. See, my husband is the only child. And I remember when I met him, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, you know, I'm very transparent. I said, look, don't get in a relationship with me because, you know, I just lost a husband. I met him like the next year, like literally the year I met him. And I said, you know, I'm still grieving in my own way. I have 4 children to take care of. I'm only 23. I'm a widow. Look, and I'm not going to lie, if you just want to, yeah, come on, I'm with it. Because I wasn't ready for a relationship. And this mofo gonna tell me, I want a big family. I want a bunch of kids. Are you crazy? He was like, no, because I'm only child. I always wanted a lot of, you know, kids. And I'm like, what the heck? So we had 1 together, but we had 6 all together, and they are all brothers and sisters. If they never told you that, you would never know that they weren't brother and sister. And this is what I wanted to say to you guys with family getting in your business. So my kids were very young when my husband died. So when I met my husband now, they kind of really gravitated to him being daddy because they didn't really know my first husband because they were little. And I remember when they were about 8 or 9, and my sister said, that ain't your daddy. Like, to me, that wasn't her business to say that. My kids were hurt by that. And they were like, you're not our dad. Like, you know, and, you know, we had to sit down and explain it to them. But you can't tell them nothing today. They grown, girl, please. They call, Mom, we're dad. I want to know about the cook because I don't cook. So, yeah, they call him. So, but that's what I'm saying with family being in your business. That could have took us in a different direction. You know?
Yes.
So I really feel it wasn't her place to have said that to the kids. You know, if you wanted to say that, you could have said it to us away from them. But to say it to them, they were hurt. You know, because they were little, they didn't understand.
Right.
You know, 8 or 9, they didn't really know. You know,
Vernes, did you say something to her after that? After she made that statement? Okay.
Yeah, I did. Hey, I'm transparent with you guys. I did. You know, sometimes you gotta go there with family. Sometimes you gotta put family in their place.
Oh, without a doubt.
You know,
yeah.
And we love our family. And sometimes, and because of my situation with being adopted at birth, sometimes you have to let family go over there.
Yeah.
You know, live your life over there. I love you. Call me. You need $50. Here you go. But I can't be in your same space. I'm protecting my energy. I'm protecting my time because you're not going to draw me in to be miserable because you're miserable.
Right.
Or you're jealous. Family gets jealous too. Oh, you have a good marriage, and they don't have a good marriage, or they're not married. You know, they get jealous.
Yeah.
Right.
So, you know, sometimes you have to put your foot down with family.
You do. Yes,
if this is your spouse and you guys are in love, this is how we are going to raise our children. You cannot come, even moms, even mother-in-laws, you know, grandfathers, anybody, uncles. Sometimes you have to tell them, hey, I got this.
Yeah.
You know, because I do that with my kids. I be wanting to say something to my grandkids. I'm like, okay, they got to raise their kids the way they want.
Right.
So I got to, you know, try to throw it away sometimes. But you know, nanas, they be like, no, my babies, but you know, they're the parent.
Right.
And you have to step back.
I have to remind myself of that with my grandchildren as well. You know, that I'm the grandmother. I have to stand in my place. But you know, but shoot, these generations today, you just want to kill them all. Like, God. They frame of thoughts is just all over the place, you know? And so, it's not. Yeah.
So
My son's girlfriend used to try and call me and tell me things that are happening in their relationship. And so this is the only thing I would ever tell her then and now. If you're still there, it's not that bad. Fix it.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because some people want to give up so fast on marriage,
Right.
especially with financial or whatever the issue is. I think you should give yourself a month. I'm old school. I'm like this. If you see that dress and you want it, do you want it or do you need it? If you go back in 3 days and you're like, why did I even look at that? Then you didn't need it. You wanted it. A want is different than a need.
Yes.
And that's how you have to do with things like this.
Yeah.
Do you want it to work?
Yeah.
Is it worth it? Is it bringing value to both of you? Can you guys thrive in this marriage, or is it all garbage? If it's, I'm quick, fast to tell someone if you're getting beat. No, I don't tell you. No one should be hit. You're all adults. You know how to control your emotions. But if it's just money, or they lost their job, or maybe they're sick, if you love them, you kind of can work that out.
Yeah.
It could be worse.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, I think a lot of times too with the situation is the level of maturity is the bigger factor too. Everybody, one person may want this mansion, the other person is complacent living in an apartment. One may want one child, one may want three. It's just they don't know how to sit down. It's like making a budget. It's like making a budget. If you want it to work, you gotta do the work. It's not easy. And I don't care what nobody say. Everybody, you may be happy in your marriage, you may be happy, but it is not all peaches and cream.
No.
There is no perfect marriage. None. None.
Like my cousin said, the girl was saying, how could you be married to someone that long? I say like this, when you get married, you never think of, I'm going to get a divorce in 2 years. I hope no one is thinking of that when you're going into marriage. To me, when you get married to someone, you're looking at them to be your lifelong spouse to death do you part. And when you get to that final stage, everyone wants someone to be there in your old age with you. Like I never thought, and I don't want to cry, I'm not going to cry. I didn't think my husband was going to die that young. I was looking for a house and a white picket fence, and he was young. I never would have thought I would have been a widow at 23.
Yeah.
So, and I tell people, when you get married, don't get married because of it's $100,000 wedding and you want to dress in the newest. You get married because you love that person. If nothing else was here, if you lost everything,
you
still love that person.
Yeah.
Right.
Who wants to be at 85, 90 years old and not have a spouse? I've seen a man. I don't know if you guys watch Black Love on Oprah.
I've watched some.
They go through the stages of the people when they're married. So some people married 2 years, 10 years, 12 years. And that one couple was married 75 years.
Nice. Yeah.
And they look good. They look good.
Yeah.
Wait, she was the head of the household. She was still in love. You could see their faces. And I'm like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. I knew a family and they mom and dad was celebrating their 62nd wedding anniversary. So, I'm one that always loves to sit with the elders because I just think there's so much wisdom that they have. They went through the Depression, they went through the World War I, II, and so they went through all the poor things. And, I asked her husband, I said, well, Skip, as a husband for 62 years, what is it that you can tell my husband as we're learning? He said, baby, just stay drunk.
Okay, that works. Happy life. That is so true. That's so true. That's so true.
Yeah, but to see, but even just to know that people do take their marriages, really, really seriously. I would hope that when I'm getting married again, that I can do the same thing because I love my husband till death. And so I want to be able to do that again. Yeah. Well, not to death, but for the longevity of it. Yes.
Yeah, some of us that have been married a long time. I know I've been 20, and I know Livestrong said 30. And Adrian, how long have you been married?
15 years, but like I said, we've been together for, my daughter's 25, so we've been together like 7 years.
Yeah.
And you can talk?
Oh, we've been married 5 years this time around. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And we do tend, and I'm not gonna lie, I've been there, transparency. We take our spouses for granted. But you never know what can happen when they leave out that front door to go to work, or anything can happen. So I understand what Eat to Live Strong meaning by not going to bed mad, but I believe in always saying, give me a kiss and tell me you love me before you go.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't want to cry.
Yeah.
I wish I could have did that with my first husband.
Yes.
When he got sick and he went to the hospital and no one thought in 7 days. I never thought that. But I feel that I never got to say, I love you, because we take our spouses for granted.
Yeah.
So
right.
Even in that time when you want to hit them with that sock puppet, when you want to just, you make me angry, always just say, I love you. I look at 911 that just passed. You know, people spoke to I'm from New York, so guys know it affected me. They said, bye to their spouse that morning, or they had an argument, or they called them from that plane that just was getting ready to hit the building that they knew they were going to die. We don't know when our time is coming.
Right.
That's right.
And even though my husband, I'm sorry. And even though my husband and I may go to bed with an unresolved issue, and he still may be feeling a certain kind of way about something, when we get up to leave the next morning, we make sure that we don't leave without, hugging and kissing before we leave. Even if we're mad, it might be a quick peck, it might be a soft "I love you," but it's gonna get said, it's gonna get done, because we don't know when will be the last day that you see that person. And even though we go to bed upset, we wake up, it's a new opportunity for us to talk through, what it is that we're struggling with, and work through the unresolved issue. So, yeah. But we don't.
Congratulations, Positive Pusher. She said her aunt and uncle who raised her just celebrated their 60th anniversary. Blessings to them. And that's what it's all about. This is a life journey, and everyone wants to have a partner to go through life. Because guys, we can't escape life alive. That's just that's a fact. Yeah. So love your children, love your spouse, and even though they get on your last nerve, that one last nerve that just
that make your eyes,
girl, that little third eye right in there, you just wanna But especially now, is beautiful. COVID and all this stuff going on. There was a lady, you guys probably don't know her, but she's on YouTube, and her husband had got COVID and he passed away. And she's a minister, and it was so hard for her. You can see, but she's getting better. She's not better yet, but you never know. Yeah, so, that's true. And closing, I say congratulations to everybody that has made it so far in your marriage. I wish you double that more. Yeah. Just make sure you love on your friends and your family. Look at the young man that just passed, the beautiful actor. I mean, who would have thought? Every time I look at this day, I'm like, this is not real. I wasn't ready for that. Yeah. I wasn't ready. And that's the problem. We are not ready, but you have to get ready and stay ready, because we don't know. Yeah. Stay prayed up. If you believe in God, stay prayed up, or to Buddha, or whoever you pray to. There's something more than us out here.
Yes. Exactly. My grandparents were married for 70-something years. 70. I think this year July would have been 78 years.
Wow.
They passed away, but they did the thing to death do them part. They were for 78 years, and my in-laws were in their 70 years too. So.
And I love when we could go outside, walking through the mall, and I see the older couples holding hands. I would actually stop them and ask them and say, you guys look so cute together, and you still hold hands. And the man was like, yep, that's my baby. And I'm like, oh my God, but that's That's what we all want.
Mhm.
You know,
Right.
when you get married, you want that. Because guess what? You get together, then you have children. And it's all about the children, but then the children grow up and the children leave. Do you still like your spouse?
That's
Yeah.
right.
The person that you married is the person that you need to remember when you got married and now the kids are gone and it's just you and that person in the house. Are you still in love?
Right.
Yeah.
Don't have
Right.
you don't, and it's not even so much about love. Do you still like them?
Yes.
Do you still like them? Because you
Yeah.
can love somebody and not like them.
Not like them. Exactly.
Yeah.
What you
I
say,
think that's
Angela?
why
I said that is so true. You can love them and not like them. And I could tell when I first met mine, I didn't like them at all. I didn't like my husband at all. I did not.
Mm-hmm. I want to say thank you to everybody in the chat. I see the Positive Pusher, Beverly Palmer, Cook It in a Mold. Thank you guys for being here. If I missed anyone, I do apologize. Nikki Nichols, she was up on the panel. And I want to thank my awesome panelists here. Hold on, where's my, there it is. My awesome panelists here. We got my cousin, Adrianne. We got You Can Talk. That is Ruth. If you guys are not connected, Eat to Live and Hood Girl, if you don't know each other, please connect. That Hood Girl to the Hood, you know I love you, boo. That's my road dog right there. You gotta hurry up and come back, boo. I miss you on my Fridays now.
I'm coming, but you know that job had me all over the place. All the stupid New Yorkers, them crazy New Yorkers.
Watch it.
I had to take a break.
I just opened your wine today, and the video should be up tomorrow. I just opened it.
Really?
Yeah, I did the video today. Yeah, I just opened it today. And Eat to Live Strong, you know you my girl. We do panels sometimes, just having fun. It's not about YouTube. It's not about the world. We're just on there. We do. Okay, help me out, Eat to Live. You know, I always today.
Know your TV, bring your brain.
Know your TV, bring your brain. So we do TVs, movies, and cartoons and games. And you guys got to guess what we're saying. It's all in fun. We laugh so hard over there.
Woo.
Hood Girl has adult conversation, and it is good over there too. And people are very respectful, so we have a good time. If you guys don't know, You Can Talk. I'm telling you, has her sessions, and You Can Talk. You can tell us when you go live and stuff. And then my cousin Adrianne, she's not a YouTuber yet, but that's my girl. You know, I love you, Booski. So You Can Talk, and then and that Hood Girl, tell us when you go live. We'll cover You Can Talk, and then we're gonna close out. We'll be on 2 hours.
Yes.
I'm gonna start with You Can Talk.
I go live on Saturday nights from 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So, and I usually talk about the videos that I put out that week. So I'll put out a tip on Tuesdays, and then I'll do a quick little like short lesson, less than 15 minutes on Thursdays. And then whatever I talk about in those sessions, that's what we talk about on Saturday nights. So,
Okay. And Hood Girl, let us know when your schedule is gonna come back.
I plan on next month. You know, I will be doing 2 Fridays of cigars and chats, and then I will do 2 Fridays with Vernes and her freaky self with nice and nasty and naughty questions.
But it's adult. It's very nice. It's very nice.
I do have co-hosts. They are my toys. They do accompany me some Friday nights, and we talk about sex because I studied sex. We learn, you know, sex has changed over time. People are doing anal. People are sucking more than they ever have. And it's just a whole lot of goodness going on when you're married, that is. And we just talk. Everybody is free to teach something because there's always something new to learn in the sex world today. It really is. Yeah.
Thanks, Panama City. Thank you. And I'm going to have Eat to Live.
Okay, so on Mondays, I put out content concerning a topic of the week, which is normally something about my multiple sclerosis and or my vegan lifestyle. And then I go live on Wednesday with a panel, and all of them are at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then on Saturday, I put out just some type of content, whether it's an unboxing or me cooking a meal, and that's coming out at 7 p.m. on Saturday. So everything comes on at 7 p.m. So Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday.
Okay.
So guys, I thank again all my panelists. I thank you to the people in the chat. You're here at Vernes Junk Closet. I do have a second channel for VMAX Show. If you guys are not connected, please go over there. Over there, you get to know me as Vern. We eat and chat. I talk about my husband's cooking, and it's just a whole bunch of fun over there. It's good. I rate his food, girl. I rate it. He's a good cook. Everybody loves the food. I do try-on hauls and product reviews. And I'm starting to do news in the story, but only happy and goodness stories. I don't want to do all that other stuff. It's enough of that. I want to do uplifting stories. So check me out over there. Guys, today is a good day to have a great day. Let's make today beautiful. You know, I say never stop dreaming. And guys, love and light to you all. Love and light, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Love you.
Bye.
Everybody had a great time.